What's up, guys? This is Automotive Anonymous. That is a 2023 Volkswagen Taos SE. It's the second of the three trim levels, and today we're going to review it. We're going to go through the specs, initial driving impressions, 0 to 60, and final thoughts to decide, is the Taos potentially worth your time and money? And big thanks to Twin Falls Volkswagen for letting me borrow it for the day. I'll link it below if you guys are interested. Check them out. Otherwise, we're going to get right into it. A lot of you guys might be unfamiliar with what the Taos is. It's been selling in the Chinese market for a few years now, but it came to America just last year. It sells over 6 figures per year in that market, but in the US it sold about 31,000 in its first year. A base model starts about 24,000 before destination. This SE being the second of the three, it's about 33 grand with all the goodies it has. The 4Motion all-wheel drive as indicated on the rear hatch, and with destination. 4Motion all-wheel drive is a premium of about 1,500 bucks, but you get these Scorpion 225/50 18 tires, and they look really good on those two-tone wheels. Overall safety is rated at 4 stars, but you get a $450 credit due to not having blind spot monitoring because of some of those global supply chain issues we're still dealing with. But you get adaptive cruise control settings, and you still get a lot of other good stuff on the Taos. This compact crossover, as it's categorized as, competes against things like the Seltos, the Compass, and even the Crosstrek when it has the 4Motion all-wheel drive like this one. You'll see under the hood soon it's a 1.5 liter turbo, it's a 16 valve engine, and it has a 7-speed automatic. The gas tank located right here on the passenger side is a 14.5 gallon tank, so getting 25 city, 32 highway means you're road tripping for about 440 miles between Phillips if you want. The 7-speed automatic is really good at compensating to put the power down but also get decent mileage. It actually has an impressive 540 final drive ratio, so that's really good at putting low end torque down. 18-degree approach angle and 25-degree departure angle means you're not going to win any off-road battles, but you could go on light trails if you needed to. Overall ground clearance is about 6.5 inches, so it's not class leading, but it's adequate for most people. It is roughly 6 feet wide, 5.5 feet tall, and a whopping 14.5 feet long, so it's pretty close to the competition in its class. And with just under a 9-foot wheelbase supporting the 3,400 pounds that this puppy weighs, it actually does feel pretty planted on the road. Payload, as we'll call it, or how many pounds of people and stuff can the Taos hold, is up to about 1,400 pounds, but depending on which one you get with its all-wheel drive or front-wheel drive configuration, it may vary by up to a couple hundred pounds. With what we know are very bright LED headlights, remote start, and proximity key features, with some really nice chrome lining around the bottom portion of the windows and on those roof rails with the panoramic sunroof, let's hop in the vehicle and see what else it has to offer. Door panel looks nice, but there's nothing too special about it. You have a two-tone with the door card being a contrasting color. Firm but soft armrest. Nice handle that you could store some stuff in there. Gas door release on the door. Unnamed speakers, but they do actually sound really good. And then a big bottle holder that fellows out a little bit with some extra room for some snacks down there. Taos on the door sill. Taos on the floor mats. Rubberized pedals. Lighting options. Power seats, really good looking and very comfortable seats. They don't have a whole lot of bolstering, but enough that most people are going to be very comfortable in it. And panoramic sunroof that's darkly tinted, looks really nice. Let's hop inside and fire it up. The steering wheel looks really nice. It's leather wrapped. You do have the heated features. On the left you have all your adaptive cruise settings, slowing down, speeding up, things like that. The lighting stock on the left, the windshield washer stock on the right. I do like Volkswagen's little graphics on there. It's pretty refreshing if you're not used to them. And then volume and voice controls on the right. The center display does actually look really good. You can go through your settings and pick whatever you want to be in the middle. Some of them, though, don't have a whole lot of information to tell you. It might just be one item like that. But the graphic around looks pretty good. Otherwise, you have a little bit of storage up here. Just don't leave anything that's going to melt in the sun. You have a compass in the rear view mirror, and then your garage door settings for 1 through 3. The screen is really good looking. It's pretty quick to respond, typically. There we go. But there's not a lot of information on some of these. We have tire pressure monitoring there. but that's about it. The car button gets us to the same spot. I'm assuming other ones have higher end features, but you do have Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, and if you go into reverse, the camera looks really good. Trajectory lines though, they do not move. Otherwise, physical buttons, heated seats. I think it's fun, the graphics on the Volkswagens. They're refreshing, 12 volt, and some plugins down there with a rubber-lined declining surface, so that your phone's not going to slide down and get lost under the seats. Auto start stop, you can go down and over to bump up and down to go through those 7 gears, because this doesn't have paddle shifters. And then you have electronic parking brake, auto vehicle start and stop, and then your drive modes that you can select there. Small-ish cup holders, and a nice spot for some pennies, or maybe 13 Tootsie Rolls. Small center console, no plugins or anything, and then it does kind of give you a little bit of storage in the front to maybe hide something just out of sight. Maybe 3 more Tootsie Rolls if you want. And then up top we have the sunshade. Unless it's really hot out. I don't know why you'd ever have that closed though, because it is so beautiful looking up to the sky. And then you can tilt or you can slide. And it does a fantastic job, and it's very large for this class of vehicle. It's one of the best. But let's turn it off. Let's hop in the back and see how we fit behind ourselves. In the back of the Taos, the door panel looks basically identical, minus a couple controls, and you don't have your own button to pop the gas cap. What gives, Volkswagen? I guess they don't think the backseat driver needs one of those. But what you do get are some really nice 40-60 split, 60 split on the passenger side, 40 on the driver's side, and they don't lay flat. There is a drop down to the rear cargo. And then you have a couple cup holders back here, and if you have some 2x4s, just slide them on through. Volkswagen makes it easy for you. At 5'11", sitting behind myself, I have quite a bit of room, probably like 4 inches or so. A nice map pocket, really nice view, and a couple inches above my head. I could probably be a few inches taller and still sit back here comfortably. I have ventilation, some more Tootsie Roll holders right there, and a single USB, so you're gonna have to fight with the other backseat occupants on who gets that. The armrest again, it's actually pretty long, feels pretty nice. Let's hop in the back, see what the trunk looks like. This one does not have a power lift, you gotta do it yourself, but those shocks do help you quite a bit. Back here you have 25 cubic feet of storage room. If you drop the seats, you have 60 cubic feet, or roughly 5 feet from the hatch opening to the back of the driver's seats. You have a 12 volt back here, a bag clip, some incandescent lighting, and then a steel spare tire down here with your tools around the periphery, and an extra little bit of storage. What are you guys hiding down here? Comment it below. The back door panel, again, you guys know the theme by now. It looks really good. It's pretty comfortable. I like the two-tone design. And you get your own map pocket. You get the 60-40 split, and then you have your child safety latches throughout. If you're riding shotgun, you get a slightly bigger pocket, your own window control, the locks up here, but the same theme follows Taos on the door sill. Manual options to recline and to slide forward right there, but our backpack looks safe and pretty comfortable, kind of reclined and just enjoying this nice sunny 40-degree day. And then we have storage right here with a mesh. It's really nice. And non-locking glove box that doesn't have any plugins in it, but it is actually pretty deep. You could fit a whole lot of goodies in there. I do want to mention the lines on this vehicle are really nice, contrasting in the shadows. They look really good. And before we get under the hood, functional aero. Not a bad deal. Let's pop the hood and see what it has to offer. Under the hood, there you have it. There's the whopping 1.5 liter turbo engine with an intercooler connected to the 7-speed in the back. It's actually a really good layout. You have a lot of room if you ever had to work on here or do your own maintenance. You have the windshield washer, reservoir, air filter, the plumbing, the piping to the turbo right there in the back. Then it comes around to the intake manifold side, gets right into the engine to make a whopping 158 horsepower at 5,500 RPM. 184 twisty pounds of torque, at about 1750 RPM. So it actually comes on really strong down low, so it feels quite punchy in the city. You have the battery positive and negative terminal, the brake fluid reservoir, the coolant reservoir, oil dipstick in the yellow, oil engine fill right there in the middle up top, alternator on the side, serpentine belt surrounding it, and then it is a front-wheel drive bias platform because you can have front-wheel drive or the 4Motion all-wheel drive. Comment below on how it does in the winter slippery, icy conditions. I'd imagine it's not as good as a rear-wheel drive base platform or Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive, but a lot of people that have front-wheel drive bias platforms do seem to really like it. So just comment below, tell me what your thoughts are. Let's drop the hood. Time for my favorite part. We're gonna teleport inside, take it for a drive, and see how it does on the road, and then we'll get to that 0 to 60 with the GPS. Initial driving impressions of the Taos on the road is that it's actually really smooth, handles very well. For all the glass in here, I think the acoustics are really good because those factory speakers sound phenomenal. It actually has really good visibility. The only spot you're missing is the D-pillar, but that's what those side mirrors are for. They're large, they look stylish, and they actually do a really good job to show you everything that's in the mirrors. The rear view mirror, again, does really well because this vehicle at 14.5 feet long just isn't that long. It's a little bit shorter than the Crosstrek even, which compared to all those that I've driven, it does feel a little bit taller. With about a 9-foot wheelbase, or just under, and about 3,400 pounds without me in the vehicle, it feels really stable, really planted on the road, and that little 1.5 Spinny Boy turbo spools up nicely. Power comes on really strong. The 7-speed just knows what to do. I think it does a really good job. I still think it should have the 2-liter turbo in it from some of those bigger Volkswagens. But honestly, it's really nice. Everything is comfortable. The armrests are great. The heated seats I have on right now, and they feel really warm. Some manufacturers don't make them warm enough that I burn, but I think if I was in this for long enough, I would start to burn a little bit. Kudos to you, Volkswagen. Physical buttons are great. Everything's out of the way. And we'll do a little bit of an acceleration right here just to get back up to speed. You can feel that peak torque coming on really low in the RPM. But if you stick your foot in it and you keep it in, you soon realize that the horse at under 160 foot-pounds, it really doesn't have a whole lot to sustain that feeling of pull. But around town, you're doing just fine. If you have your family in the car, I think you're gonna not have any problems. It's quiet, wind and road noise aren't too bad. We only have about a 7-mile-per-hour wind today, so it's been a lot better than some of the other days and recent reviews I've posted. What are your thoughts on the newest Volkswagen platform? These Taos, they're only starting to be a couple years old now, so they're pretty refreshed. They have a lot of the features that their older siblings have that have trickled down to this one. And honestly, I think it does a really good job. I'll give it one more little bit of acceleration. I should say as well, the brakes feel totally adequate. And whenever you look up and you can enjoy the sunshine through the roof, I think it's just gonna make you a little bit happier. Everything in here just seems really crisp and well. And if I haven't already mentioned it, I'm glad that this has wireless Apple CarPlay, because that's honestly such a good feature. As long as you have service, that navigation and that is usually better than anything the actual auto manufacturers really have to offer. Plus, it doesn't go out of date. Anyways, guys, we are almost to our private road. We're gonna do a 0 to 60 with the GPS and see how fast it is at about 4,000 feet of altitude. All right, we're in sport mode. We're gonna brake rev the 7-speed and see what it can do. You can hear the turbo spool, which is pretty cool. I'll verbalize the true 0 to 60. Density altitude here is about 3,000 feet, so this vehicle is only down on power about 5 or 6% max right now with where we're at. The bottom left of the graph to follow will show without the foot of rollout. That's the way it'd be rated by the magazine. But let's get to it. See what it can do. And true 0 to 60 came in at about 9.48 seconds. Final thoughts of the Taos is it's actually a pretty cool SUV. I think it looks really good. I like those sharp lines, the functional aero, the bright LEDs that we can see on other videos. They're really good. Volkswagen's done a great job designing this. I, of course, wish it had at least the 2-liter turbo, but the 1.5 honestly does pretty well compared to the competition. As you saw, I live at altitude. Vehicles are usually quite a bit slower than they're rated where we are at, so having a turbo to compress the air really is a beneficial thing. I think this is a decently priced compact crossover, and it probably holds up pretty fair to the competition. What are your thoughts, guys? What are you comparing it to? Have you driven one? Are you gonna drive one? Tell me below. Otherwise, if you like my style, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing to help bookmark the channel and help it grow if you're interested. Or if you want to see more of my stuff, I post weekly. And again, if you guys are interested in something like this, check out Twin Falls Volkswagen. I'll link it below. They're great people. Take care, guys. See you on the next one.